Hi, so today I'm sharing a video because on Friday I didn't have time. It is Saturday night. I thought I was going to have time. It's Motzei Shabbos. It's a special weekend because the Baba Sali's yahrzeit, anniversary of death, is tonight. And yesterday was the I don't know what to call him, the very special Rabbi Zusha of Anapoli. Teacher, guide, peer, whatever he wants to be, he is. So may it bring us added blessings, and may we connect in such a way that is refined and very holy. So I want to talk about a few different topics. First of all, healthy boundaries. Hope, optimism, gratitude, listening, nice words, respect, mutual empowerment, not playing abandonment games, not guilting, controlling, projecting, separate wounds, separate problems, not just distraction like kind of relationship, not just listening, not just loneliness, caring about feelings, not punishing weaknesses and vulnerabilities, not causing fear or hypervigilance. There should be validation and having healthy separate friendships, free love, not leaving whenever one doesn't get their way, ambition, resourcefulness, inspiration and motivation, fulfilling a commitment, not force, not draining, and checking in. What do I want and need? What do I want to be made to feel? Self-respect, which is communicating and maintaining consequences. What's appropriate, inappropriate in a relationship? What I allow shows what I tolerate. Sometimes we have to leave a relationship. Sometimes we have to create a bubble. We can leave the disagreement or the interaction and communicate why or what instead of shutting down or guilting. And words to the self on a day-to-day make a massive difference. At first, it could be work, but muscle memory could cause the inner conversation to become one of self-love. Focus and dedication. What should I do for myself? And in terms of self-protection and empathy, now going, in a little deeper, we have to invest in those who invest in ourselves. Healthy give and take in beginning stages of relationships as a foundation for dating and friends is a healthy wall that needs to be up to get to truly know someone first and take time to see if it's appropriate. Saying yes to those who say yes to me, or sending the message that I'm gotten for free, that I don't need or to be earned, that I'm less than unless I do all the things I do. This disrespects myself. Learning how to respond, not react, not necessary to emotionally react to everything, even if there's gaslighting, deliberately confusing, nitpicking to invalidate, deferring, passive-aggressive, silent treatment, defense mechanism. We call that abuse. That's punishing or manipulative. It's a taker who doesn't give. So we have to meet them at their low level. It's not self-respect. It's self-love. We haven't learned how to not get entangled with others' wounds or how to hold on to ourselves or me if they affect us. So when we learn how to verbally communicate in a healthy, effective way, it is the most self-respectful and self-loving, self-responsible. Basically, we're responsible for our own behaviors, opinions and beliefs, emotions, responsibility. We don't have to take on the drainingness or the negativity from others. And we definitely don't have to engage with rudeness or abuse, disrespect. We just need to control ourselves, not easily getting riled up or controlled by others, or even just controlling our reactions. Now, getting in deeper, what is respect? You just know when you've been disrespected. Intuition tells us, even if we don't grasp exactly what it is or isn't healthy, manipulative, or abusive, it makes us feel bad. We don't want to feel bad. What makes us feel respected? Our time and efforts matter. My opinions are worthy to be listened to and considered. Acknowledgments and praise. Trusted to handle and understand discrete or complicated things. Not made to feel inferior. Not made to feel like what I do or say is or what I am isn't enough. Being seen simply as a sex object or sex through dishonesty. Not being contrasted or compared. Considered weak or needy instead of them adopting new evolved beliefs or behaviors. When someone doesn't only want to connect when it suits them or when they need something. My self-talk, my self-esteem, I need to work on helping me to navigate myself rather than doubt myself or put myself down. I want to just, as an aside, I didn't mention this, but all of this was written approximately 5 years ago. Sometimes I move around a little in my journals, but this was written, I remember writing this from a previous journal that I didn't actually have anymore. So It's a little older than this journal that it's written in, which is about a couple years old, but this is from about 5 years ago. Ego learning is to say no, to choose to put myself first, to practice just a little people pleasing for the sake of building a relationship with those we love, because that's not bad, but sometimes only when it's necessary. Can this person do it for themselves? Only if they can't do it for themselves. Otherwise, there's a codependency where I lower myself. I'm not good enough unless on my own, like I'm looking to fix or help. But really, we know an empty vessel can't give. If it's an escape and leads to inappropriate expectations, that's a red flag. And, if it's where I'm easily manipulated, going out of my way versus specific investments, that's also a red flag. And we can ask ourselves, do I really want to do this? If no, what can I do for me instead? I want to share how we can make a new story with new agreements for ourselves when we're working on these things. First of all, I'm here to be gentle, and I have to be gentle. I'm here to be appropriate. I have to be appropriate with myself. I can mind my own business, and dissociating is not really living. It's dissociating from life. I'm lovable, worthy of attention and care and respect and security, space and privacy, boundaries, preferences, choice, my own identity. I'm capable, strong, and discerning, and inherently good and innocent and pure, and understandable, special, and acceptable. Just who I am, regardless of what I do for others, or help, or put them first. I'm wonderful, sincere, authentic, and genuine. I hold space for others to work out their own stuff, but I'm regularly checking in with my own energy self and the energy where I don't drain myself with excuses, kind of, they need to make mine more than me. And really where my loyalty is for myself, I don't have to give myself away for free or sacrifice, because I'm worthy of trust, more trust, honesty, reliability, accountability, and growth, commitment, investment. Me not changing for me, for mine, and less guilting, shaming, deflecting, gaslighting, and validating. This is healthy. Only, from now on, forgiving when I'm hurt, but don't further tolerate and enforce boundaries, because it's not my business what's going on in others, really. How I see or feel about myself matters more than others' perceptions. This is true for each one individually. It's not humility or modesty to be degraded, to be lowered or repeatedly disrespected. I'm alive. I'm life. So are you. And I matter. My feelings matter. I'm practicing self-care when I avoid things that upset me, or not when I don't want to be a martyr, or share myself with people who don't meet my communication needs, or boundaries, or make me feel bad. And I remember having this older woman, when I was learning about all this, she gave me a lot of good advice. Her name is Dorothy. I don't know if she's still alive. She was in her 90s when I met her at, it was actually at an ashram I was passing through. She said, pray to God, free me from jealousy, egoism, lust, anger, and greed. I only have to answer to myself. What others are experiencing is not my business, and I need to train my mind. And this is obviously longer than 4 or 5 years ago. This is like, could be 7 years ago, could be less, something like that. I need to train, it could be more. I need to train my mind as soon as the assumptions start to begin to quiet them. Some tools are, she told me a mantra she liked, which was Om Namah Shivaya. And I really did connect with that for a long time. It really, in Hebrew, it could mean something too. In that language, it could be kind of like a version of God, which is not quite the one God of Judaism, but it could be. So Shivaya could mean Hashem that abides, that sits. Because we know Yah is one of the names of Hashem, and Shiva means to rest, like on Shabbos, we or when someone passes away, we rest, we process, we integrate. And Nama is like pleasure, and Om is like the kind of like we have Aim, which is like mother. So she said another mantra too, self-love, and then or the word Om. This is like actually said to be a Kabbalistic word. We're not supposed to use it casually. We're supposed to be very conscious when we use it. And then beads. She told me, like, there's some people who do religiously, they do the beads, the mala. She was saying just having something to play with. Have something that you have with you, like a bracelet or whatever, play with it. Also, she told me there's unlimited psychological simplifying. Just keep making it simple, simpler. The way it really is, whether it's music, shower, meditation that helps. She told me I have the whole package. I'm smart and beautiful, brave, thoughtful, sensitive, innocent, adaptive, flexible, good and pure, insightful, strong and capable, forgiving, controlled. That's who I am. I really am. She says, don't make up stories. Paranoia uses the imagination in a negative way. Rather, she told me we have to use our imagination for reading instead. She said, make space for she told me I should continue, which what I do is to make space for everyone in a real way. I'm concerned with people's whereabouts. I can tolerate and coexist with very difficult people. And I have a great smile and laugh. I love, 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 love. And I should love, love, love myself. She said it is self-preservation to stay away from upsetting things. And the ego says, I know better, I can help, and makes me repeatedly fall into the same pit. Instead, I should back off with indifference, like either way it is, and stick with itness, like consistency and detachment. She says, talking it out could reaffirm it, self-talk that's positive versus the stories that might knock me off the ladder. And she says, tune into what's going on. There's a natural expression of interaction where I must make sure to only be in reciprocal relationships and only do for others what they can't do. And I can send, she was telling me, for example, we were talking about my father, who is a very difficult person for me in life. And I know he's difficult for many other people, but he's my father. I didn't get another person that could replace him. And when I tried to, it ended up causing me a lot of pain. She said, send him loving kindness. Accepting someone for who they are doesn't mean I'm unlovable or unwanted, even if that's how they wanted me to feel because of where they were at. And I shouldn't resent, what I'm doing. It's no one's fault, and hopefully I'll be accepted. Wanting material comfort doesn't make me good or bad. As she said, but with material things, I'll always want more. So I need to parent myself and judge and equalize. And sometimes when things don't work, just accept. Don't try to figure it out too much. I shouldn't, basically when it's too much or I can't relate, doesn't mean I'm good or bad. It's built into me. Depends on current state of mind, and it varies with or without balance. And I had another talk with someone else after that. Her name is Gina. She was at the same location, and I was 28 years old at the time, and I'm about to be 33 in the secular calendar, the solar calendar, in about a month and a half, and a little under a month and a half, and in the lunar calendar, it's a leap year, so in 2 months and a little more. Actually, it's about 2 months. So at the time of 28, she told me there's this thing called Saturn return. And this month is about Saturn. Aquarius is related to Saturn. Shvat, the Hebrew month Shvat. So it's perfect timing. She said these are the things about Saturn, but also at 28 is when most people have their Saturn, return, their Saturn phase. So, embarrassment, self-absorbed, entitled, selfish, desiring to be prioritized to the point of delusion, would, could, should, expectations unmet, investing in those who invest in me, or being vulnerable to imbalanced investment, making everyone feel cared about because of how painful it is to feel so needy but no one comes to my aid, self-reliance, slowly but surely, more confidence that I can handle what happens, increased motivation and presence, the father issues, everything falling apart, rules, things getting out of control, facing abandonment, and less of trying to control things, breaking down, more faith and self-acceptance, money being the key, realizations for financial stability, no one to count on but me, can't rely on anyone, recognizing the human father is, ideal is not going to emerge. Even though I never had the father I wanted, I could face the disappointments and accept that no one will ever love me the way I wanted and needed from my father, and unconditional love won't come from someone out there. The liberation to face the truth comes from facing the truth. And finally, I spoke with one other person at that location. His name was Suratha. And he was a Jewish man. And he said, with a vice, we have to say, I love you. Let's say someone is addicted to cigarettes, which I had an experience of for some time. And you have to say, with love, as you're breathing in the cigarette, in a positive, grateful, elevated, really like a lovingly, not unproductively, egotistical, toxical, guilty, without acceptance kind of way. And he says this is the key, because all those emotions that we might be wanting to, indulge in is what we're pretending the cigarette's about, for example. Not pretending. In the past, it could be that when I smoked the cigarette, all those negative emotions are what I was indulging in, not the cigarette. So if we're able to only let the cigarette represent positive emotions, we may even heal and not have as much attachment. And I'm going to stop here. There's a lot of material. I hope that it is valuable for you. And I wish you a beautiful week, month, year, and life.